Hello and welcome to this new tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how we can perform connected component labeling with statistics information obtained from the image. Particularly, I'll be showing you the connected components with states method, which gives us additional information compared to the connected components method, which I explained in my previous video. So let's see how it works in Emgu CV. I have created a project and I configured it to use Emgu CV. Right click on the project, go to Add and create a new Windows form. I just call it Form CC States and click on Add. I need to display two picture boxes. One is to display the input image and one is for the output image. So let me drag and drop two picture boxes, resize them. I just Control C, Control V, just copied that and paste it here. And I also need a button. I just resize it, and this button is to open the image, so I call it open, and I again copy and paste, and this button will be used to process, that is the connected component with states. So the first thing that I need to do is to open an image. Double click on this open button, and in the beginning you need to write using emgu.cv and using emgu.cv.structures, and I will create a reference for a BGR image so that I will read this image and put it in this IMG input. And I also need an image, gray image, to store the connected components. I just call it Imgcc. And now in this, when the open button is clicked, I need to use the file open file dialog equals new open file dialog, and then show this dialog to the user with show dialog, and if the user selects an image, then it should return me dialog result.ok. Once the user selected an image, it's time to read it into my IMG input. So how I do that is by creating an object of the IMG input and then passing the path of my image. So I can get the path of the image from dialog.filename. And once the image is read, I can display in my picture box one.image equals to img input.bitmap. And that's it. And now when the process is clicked, we want to find the connected components of the image and get the statistics information of the image. So let's do that. Double click on this, and for this one we need to make sure that the input is not null. So if it is null, we don't need to do anything. I just return it. And I always prefer to use try catch. If there is any exception, then I can handle it in my code. So I can display a message in mbox tape. It will create a show message box ee.message. And the first thing that I need to do is to, if I read a color image, I need to convert it into gray, and then using a thresholding technique to convert it into a binary image, because the connected components is expecting a binary image. So to do that, let me create a temp variable, and then I convert this IMG input into a gray image. So I use the convert method, and it will still be of depth bytes, and then I use the thresholding binary. So the minimum threshold that I assume is, let's say, 100. Then you can change it according to your needs, and if it is greater than 100, then it will be replaced by 255. And I'm continuing it, and I will perform a dilation one times and followed by erosion. If there is any small gap within the object, it will be removed using this dilation and erosion. So this is the complete method. So I first convert it into grayscale, then perform the thresholding, and then on it I additionally perform a dilation and erosion, each one time. And the connected components with states requires two additional uh, output objects for states and a centroid information. So the first I will create those objects, and then I'll show you how we can use that. The first thing that it will return us a labeled image. So I create an object to hold that label information, and also it is expecting a statistics about our object, so I just call it states. And lastly, it also requires information. It gives us information about centroids, so I create a main object for the keeping the centroids as well. Is we know that it returns the number of labels, so I call it as n labels. CV invoke dot connected components with states. I'm going to use with states. The first, it is expecting the input image, so I want to find the connected components for my temp, which is a binary image, and it is expecting then output array to hold the label, so I call it img label. And to hold the states, I already create an object, so I call it stats states. And also to hold the centroids, I just created the object centroids, and the rest I just want to keep it default. So the connected components with states and the connected components, the only difference is, well, it gives us more information about our connected components. The states basically consists of a bounding box of the object and connected component, and also it gives us the area, which we, although we can find with the once we have the bounding box, and it also gives us the x and y coordinates of my for each connected component. Now we need to get that information from the state. It is a mate object, as you know, and we want to get this one in the form of an array so that we can individually get those information and process it. I came across this thread in Stack Overflow, and the first thing that I just want to show you that the connected components, what it is returning, the statistics basically consists of 5 things. The first 4 things are about the bounding box, that is cc underscore state underscore left means the x coordinate, the y coordinate of that is top left corner of the bounding box, its width and its height, and also it gives us the area, while the centroid basically consists of 2 things in it, the x and y coordinates of each object's centroid. So in this thread, I came across a very interesting code suggestion by this M. Howard, that we can get this, convert these states and centroid information into an array. So he created an array of 2D points and then copied those states into them, and then we can process them. This is quite straightforward. But to obtain this a rectangle and one area information, he created a custom structure. Basically the first 4 properties will belong to this rectangle, and the last one will go the area will for holding the area. It created an integer area, and then an array of this CC state ops is created, and the states information is copied into that. So every individual element within this array of this CC states op will contain information about the bounding box and the area of each connected component. So I prefer this solution, and I'll be using this one in my code as well. So let's see how can we do it. I just copy this one, and I hope I have a reference of this website, so I hope there is no problem in using in my code, and since my code is also for learning purposes. So let me go and create this structure first. So I just copy and paste it right here. So this one will hold information about the statistics of my connected components. The first one is the rectangle, and the next one will be the area of that element. And since I have not, this one will hold only information about one structure, but I have many connected components in my image. So what I need to do is I will create an array of CC state ops, and I just name it like state op, and then just keep. And also for centroids, I can create another array that will keep information about the centroids. So MCV and point, there is 2D.64F managed array equivalent to CV point in OpenCV, and we also need to create a structure. I just call them centroid points. Okay. Now information about my states I will keep in this array, and information about centroids I will keep in centroids points array. So that's it. So let's go, and once we have this connected components with states method return the states and the centroids and also IMG label, I will convert this one into, I have created basically which image? Okay, IMG CC. I want to keep it IMG CC equals to IMG label dot to image. I want to create a gray image to hold all information about my connected component labels, and also to keep information about the centroids. What I need to do is centroid points. I created that array. I will just allocate the memory for this, and how many centroid points I have, which has already been provided by n labels. So I need to store a number of labels that I have. I want to store information about their centroids. And once I created this array, now I can copy these centroids provided by this connected component states method into my centroid points object, centroids dot copy to, and then I can use centroid points. That's it. Now it is just an array. I can access all of them quite easily. Similarly, for the states, we have created a states opt. What was the name? States P. What was the name of that? Okay, state options, I can say state statistic options array. I just want to create that array, and how many elements do I need to have, and it is the same as n number of labels for each a connected component label, I want to maintain information about its bounding box and area, so I created that number of array elements for this structure. And now once I have, I can copy the states into it. States dot copy to, and here I can say state of. So this is the array. That is the most complex thing that I needed to do, and it is done now. Now all the information in the states is copied into my this array, and all the information, sorry, centroids is copied into centroid points array, and now I have the states is present in states opt options array, and now I can process it. And optionally I can display this picture box 2.image equals to temp dot bitmap. Okay, so what I want to do next is, this is just the image that I displayed. Now I have the information about the statistics of all my connected components and their centroids. I want to display a text box on the centroids and display their bounding box as well. So let's do that. Maybe I can also do one more thing. What I want to do is maybe display the area as well in a text box. So maybe in a label, I think. So let me drag and drop this label. This label will display the area of the connected component that I select with my mouse. So that labels information or that connected components information will be displayed. So let me go and click on the mouse click event. I will select basically a connected component and display relevant information. The first thing that I need to make sure that my connected component has already been calculated. So if it is null, I'm not going to proceed, so I just write return. And then inside the try and a catch block, I can, now this one is for mbox tape ee dot message. Okay, so to handle the exception. Now what I want to do is first, when I click a connected component using my mouse, I want to first get the label of it using the Emgu image, and then get the information, display further information about that label using its label ID. So the first thing that I want to do is integer label equals to, this is present in CC, and I can use the mouse location e.y comma e.x, and since I need the value of that, so I will be doing, sorry, this is capital X dot intensity value, what is the value of that label, and since I need to convert it into, cast it into an integer, so I just use this casting. Now I have the label, and I have to make sure that this label is not 0. It means if 0 is the background, I don't have to do anything with the background. So I say if label is not equal to 0, then I will work on it. And if it is not equal to 0, then I can get the label itself in a temp image, the mask for that label. I can do that like imcc.inRange, and then we can provide a new gray value equal to label. I want this value between this one and this one, means if both are same, it means I am exactly looking for the pixels with value label, whatever the label ID is. Once I have obtained the label, and to display that label only, I created a temp image, and now I can get the x and y coordinates of the centroid. How I can do that? Enter x equals to centroid points, and I want to get the centroid points for this label. So okay, for this label dot its x coordinate, and since this one is returning a double, so I need to cast it into an integer. Okay, and I will use copy and paste to make life easier. I just use the y, and similarly I get the y coordinate of the centroid, which is present in my array of centroid points, and I use this label as id. And what next I need to do is I have this label and I have all those things, and I want to put this a text on this location. So let me try to do that. Maybe I create a new one is equal to img input dot copy. Instead of using the original image, I just make a copy of the img input image, and then I can put a text on it using the cv invoke dot put text. I want to put the text on this t image, and in the string I just want to put an o over there, and then it requires a location of the point where you want to display it. Actually it's let me say x comma y. At this location it will start doing it, and font face dot, let's say it will be a plain text, it's okay. And additionally we also need to have a double point. Let me say 0.8 is the scale of the font, and the color that I want to display could be, for example, 0, 0, 255, and then we can additionally provide a thickness of 2, and that's it. It will display a text, put a text on this location. That is really important. And I just want to display a simple small circle on it. And also I just want to display the bounding rectangle as well on this T image. So to get the bounding rectangle, the rectangle information, it's present in my states options array, and I need to pass the label. Okay, and this is the label for which I want to get the rectangle, and then the state ops, because this structure consists of a rectangle and area, so I just get the rectangle, and I want to draw this rectangle on this t dot draw. Okay, and here we need to pass a rect object, and then this one also requires the color, that is new bgr. What color do you want? Let's say 0, 0 to 55, and optionally, no, it is not optional, we provide a thickness of 2 to show the borders of this rectangle. And the last thing that I want to show, there is a little label I put over here. I just want to show area over there, so I call it label1.text is equal to, this one is present in the same structure that we created, dot area. Maybe we need to convert it into string, and that's it. And finally we can also show in picture box 1 dot image equals to t dot bitmap, because we on this t we put the text as well as the bounding rectangle, and as well as, okay, these two things on the image, and this label we showed the area, and also we can show in picture box 2 dot image equals to temp dot bitmap. And let's see it. So the first thing that I need to do is to select an image, click on open, and then select this coins image and then click on process. Okay, it did some processing for us, and then let's see, when I click on it, it displays the rectangle as well as centroid at the sun xy coordinates, and it also shows the area in the label at the bottom. I hope you enjoyed the video and it will be helpful for you, and hope to see you in the next video.